I don't know how that wasn't a red flag to the doctors on some we need to contact CP. I think her dad pissed me off the most because her dad knew so much. And if at any point, if he had just dropped his nuts just for 30 seconds and said, hey, flag on the play, we're putting an end to this. If you need a good memoir to listen to that is really going to make you either appreciate your upbringing a lot more, or it's going to make you realize that you relate to things that maybe shouldn't be as relatable because your upbringing was hard, this book here definitely left me on the fence. Okay, it is titled I'm Glad My Mom Died. It is by Jeanette McCurdy. Now, you may recognize her from iCarly back in the day. Stop running up on this lady and calling her Sam, okay? Her name is Jeanette McCurdy. It's very stated very clearly in the book. If you run up to her and you make like iCarly jokes or call her Sam, whatever, she's not going to sign your autograph, okay? And rightfully so. At this point, that was over 10 years ago. Please call this woman Jeanette. That is her name. Address her as such if you want to interact with her. Her mother, hands down, is one of the most unhinged parents I have ever read about. Let me start off with just some of the stats about the book. It was 319 pages. It says, a heartbreaking and hilarious memoir by iCarly and Sam and Cat star Jeanette McCurdy about her struggles as a former child actor, including eating disorders, addiction, and a complicated relationship with her overbearing mother and how she retook control of her life. Her mother was doing some things in this book that had me truly thinking at some point. So Jeanette was like 7, 8, 9 years old. Her mother still had her showering with her at 16 years old, telling Jeanette, I have to do this to make sure that you're clean properly. I have to do this to make sure that you're washing your hair properly. When you were off without me for a whole week, your hair looks like just like lackluster on TV. So I have to make sure that you're doing it the right way. She even would bathe her with her brother, saying, oh, it just saves time. Her father pissed me off this entire book because there were so many points when I wanted her father to stand up and take a stance and to say, listen, to Jeanette's mom, you're not going to keep doing this with our kids. You're not going to keep raising them this way. No one ever stood up for Jeanette and her siblings. There was no one at any point that they came into contact with. The grandparents didn't take a stance. It was like the mom played the victim card so hard and so much with her saying, I have cancer, I have cancer. Oh, feel bad for me because I have cancer. Everybody just let her do whatever. She was just a walking reign of terror until the day she died. And even after she died, Jeanette was still trying to figure out, should I do this? Because how would mom feel? If I do this, how would mom feel? Her mother was the first mother I ever read about. And I know it's not the first. She's not the first, and she won't be the last, unfortunately. Jeanette's mother was the first mom that I saw teach her child directly how to have an eating disorder. Everything was, let's count calories on this, let's count calories on that. She's 10, 11 years old, and her mom's like, yeah, well, to make sure we can slow down your aging and your body turning into a woman, if we calorie restrict like this, you don't need to eat all that cantaloupe. You don't need to eat all that watermelon because you'll put on weight, and then you won't be able to book certain roles. I was not aware that it wasn't Jeanette's dream to be a child actor. I wasn't aware. That was her mother's doing. Her mother pushed hard for that. Her mother wanted her doing acting. Her mother wanted her to look a certain way and behave a certain way. Jeanette did not get to live her life for herself until well after her mother died. There were so many moments where Jeanette would hear something like the word anorexia being used. There were even people coming up to her mom. Even the doctor at one point was like, oh, I think Jeanette has anorexia. You want to keep an eye on it? And the mom would be like, yeah, let's not talk about that right now. I don't know how that wasn't a red flag to the doctors on some we need to contact CPS. Maybe it's because they were out in California and maybe they see more eating disorders so they don't sit here and think that the parents are playing a role in it at times. I don't know. Her mom used her as a meal ticket. Her mother used her as a meal ticket. At no point was Jeanette really able to make decisions for herself. And even as she got older and once her mom was deceased and when she bought a house, it was because she was told it was a good investment. It ended up going from being this exciting thing of I just bought a house to this house is messed up. Okay, there's constructors here every single day. Every week there's someone working on this, there's someone working on that. She eventually goes to a therapist, and the therapist is even asking her like, "Why don't you sell the house?" She has been so programmed to play it safe, I'll say, that even though the house was giving her so many problems, she was like, "Well, it's just the right thing to do. It's an investment. Like it's an investment in your future. That's why I'm keeping the house." When she finally decided to get rid of the house, her grandmother gave her such a hard time. How am I supposed to tell all my friends at the chess club that you're moving out of this big lavish house? How can I say this? How can I say? Everyone was just living through her. Her dad, I think her dad pissed me off the most because her dad knew so much, and if at any point, if he had just dropped his nuts just for 30 seconds and said, "Hey, flag on the play, we're putting an end to this," there's a lot of secrets that could have came out faster. I think the people who keep that elephant that's in the room shoved underneath the rug, I borderline hold them just as accountable, if not more accountable sometimes, than the people who are actively doing certain things, because this was a bittersweet book. The happy ending to me is the fact that she's working through the abuse and trauma she went through. But this is one of those books where you'll never forget it. I promise you'll never forget what happened in this book. You'll never forget the experiences this woman had. You'll never. After reading this, I don't want my kid getting into acting. I don't want my child on TV. I feel like that Nickelodeon tell all that just came out a couple months ago, last year, that was enough. That was enough. And the creator of the iCarly show is talked about in this book as well. It was too much. Jeanette had been acting from 6 years old. That's when her mom took her to her first audition. She didn't get to live her life for herself until her mom was gone. Let me know what other books that are like this that I should be checking out. I love a good memoir. I don't want to read a book that's just kind of like a. It's certain memoirs that I like. If it's something shocking, and if it's something that I feel like brings awareness to things, yes, I'll read it. But if it's just like one of those memoirs of like you used to just do drugs back in the day, whatever, or just some like regular stuff, like I don't know. There's just certain kind of memoirs I like reading. If it's like one of those like how I became a millionaire memoirs, I probably don't want to read it for real because there's a lot of stuff that people leave out. I want to hear about how you hit rock bottom and how you came back. Those type of memoirs. Books like Cupcake, about Cupcake Brown and stuff like that. There was a book titled Rabbit that I read a few years ago. I'll read stuff like that. Drop some titles below and let me know what else I should be checking out. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe and follow button because I drop videos like this all week long. Are you tired of feeling overwhelmed with marketing your book? Imagine having a team of experts dedicated to promoting your work while you focus on what you love, writing. Our book promoting services are designed to alleviate the stress of marketing and allow you to reach a wider audience. With our tailored strategies and proven results, we can help you to boost your book sales and visibility in the book community and crowded market. Let us take care of the promotional efforts while you concentrate on what you do best, crafting your next bestseller. Alleviate and elevate your author brand and stand out in the competitive world of publishing with our services that are specialized in marketing solutions. Partner with us and watch your book soar to new heights.